Welcome, you're watching Kaleidoscope Srilanka Live News Capsule. Have we as citizens ever thought of the large responsibility and the privilege we have as a democratic country in being able to choose the leaders we want? It's not a responsibility to be taken lightly because who we choose chooses to shape our future. But to do that, are we an informed voter? Giving us some salient advice is attorney at law Minul Muhandiramge. Minul, this is a good time as any to talk about a voter's responsibility and how a voter should think before they go into the elections. This is not the first nor the last election we're ever going to have, but let's start here. What is a voter's priority when he goes into voting for an election?
One of the things a voter definitely needs to know is A, who she's voting for. And when I say who he's voting for, I'm not talking about knowing a party or a symbol. I'm talking about knowing who the individual you're voting for and what that person has done or what that person stands for. I'm sure a lot of people will get a lot of information about, oh, this party is doing really well, but it's very important to look beyond party politics and look at what this individual is actually doing and what this individual actually represents, and that I think is the most important responsibility. And if you want to deal with the problems like corruption, problems like parliamentarians not turning up in even to the parliament, that's the best place to start. Look at whether they actually turned up and spoke for the representative they stand for.
What is a voter's responsibility, not only to himself, but look at future generations, look at your community, look at your country?
Taking a very macro look at what's happening right now, I think there are three things that's important. One is economic development is extremely important. So look at what sort of economic policy, not just promises, but what plans are actually being spoken about. Two, I think this is something like that is not spoken about enough. What is the government's energy goal? What does the government's energy goals look like? Because we are an island nation, which means we have access to every single renewable resource available. What are they going to do about it? And thirdly, and most importantly right now, how do we set up a good government that's going to be checked by a good opposition? I think that's something voters need to keep in mind, because governments cannot function in absolutes. They need to be checked also when they are in power.
How does a voter make informed decisions given that information overload?
My father himself watches a lot of YouTube. So what generations, older generations specifically and also now younger generations don't understand is that algorithms have a massive impact on the way we view information. If you see the same thing and hear the same thing every single day, and that's exactly what algorithms do. They cater to your specific needs and like, listen to this, you're going to end up buying that thing. So you need to be careful about not to be overloaded with everything you see and hear. You need to do a little bit of research by yourself. There are enough and more independent channels like Fact Check, Monthly.lk that sort of gives somewhat of an objective view. So you have a responsibility to remove yourself from social media hype and to do a little bit of independent research to figure out, okay, this is what's actually being said and this is what's actually true. I think that's probably the best way to deal with it, because all of us consume YouTube, all of us consume Instagram. So we need to take a step back from social media and try to figure out what's real and what's not.
How should a voter vote?
Well, turn up at the election polls first of all. I think that's the most important thing. Second thing is, I think voters need to figure out what sort of individuals are they going to vote for. Historically, Sri Lankans are terrible at learning lessons. We voted criminals into power, we voted politicians who are supposedly known to be corrupt into power. So it's time we say no and a full stop to those individuals and look at individuals with clean records, look at individuals who actually have some sort of either intellectual background or an academic background or has served what they are talking about. Look at individuals who turned up to committee meetings. All these information are available online. Look at individuals who actually done what they're saying they will do, and then pick those individuals. Two, and most probably is something very important, Sri Lanka has less than 5% women in parliament right now. That is, and the Asian average itself is like 21%. So we are doing far worse than the entire Asian region. We need to vote for women, but not vote for women just for the purpose of it, but women who are actually speaking up in parliament, women who are actually contributing. And third of all, pick politicians, not parties. Pick individuals and research about the individuals you vote for and know how you are going to vote when you turn up at election polls.
Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe, follow and like us for more.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.